All right, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Psycho's Platters, always powered by coffee each and every time. Um, I thought I would maybe do a short stream tonight, and I really mean that. Probably an hour and a half at the most. I'm not sure who I am going against on other YouTube VC channels. I didn't bother to look. I just thought I'd be like, hey, I'll go and take a look and just be on here for a little while. But I'm telling you, so yeah, gifts, finds, and prayers, ladies and gentlemen. That is the name of the title of this episode here. So why gifts, finds, and prayers? Well, let's get to the prayer part first, okay? Okay. I just found this out shortly before coming on here. And hello to the one person watching. So the thing is I'd like to ask some prayers for people in the VC community that are having a rough go at it right now, okay? I found out just a little bit ago that if you've watched some of my previous live streams and seen one of my co-hosts up here on screen, he called himself the Tinfoil Hat Paul channel. He is in hospital. Tomorrow they will decide whether or not he gets a stent or are they going to do open heart surgery, which of course, I guess open heart surgery is a lot better now than it would have been, say, a decade ago. Okay. But he is one of my friends. He's kind of like a brother from another mother. His name, of course, is Paul also. So if you could pray for Paul, for him to be able to go through whatever he has to go through surgical wise tomorrow, that would be excellent. Also, my friend Doug Fields, ladies and gentlemen, Vinyl Grotto radio show. He's been kind of sick currently as I speak. I don't know if it's a bad cold or what have you. Oh, look, I miss you so much on here. I really do. It's been a while since she's been on here, guys. I'm always glad to see her, or should I say, be able to receive her beautiful essence when she can come on here. So kindly please pray for Paul and Doug so that they can get through their stuff. I'm not going to lie. I've got some doctor appointments set up for in January, but it's stomach issues. I'm not entirely sure what's going on. Who knows? Maybe it's 41 years of drinking coffee. It better not be. That's my only vice. But my stomach's been getting worse, and I don't know. Right? We'll see. We'll see. It's all we can do. But so that's the prayer part. So if you could please pray for all of them, that'd be okay. Also, before I get any more involved in here, 2 new subscribers, ladies and gentlemen, since I was on here last. St. Elmo's Fire. Yeah, no, it's not the 80s movie, but that is how it sounds. He's got an excellent channel. He does a lot of guitar work over there, and I welcome him into the Psycho universe along with Art Room Records. That's right, Art Room Records. Say that 5 times fast while you're really neat guy. His name is Joe, and sometimes, well, no, I think most of the time actually, he from the handful of videos I've gleaned off of, his daughter is in on him too. And so he's passing that love of vinyl from one generation to the next. I just got done shooting and posting a video on the Psycho Platter channel. Art Room Records has a contest currently right now, which is pushed to 100 subs, but he's way past that. He's almost at 170. Oh, look, see, let's see. How many times did I say your name? I don't think it was 3, but you appeared anyway. I love it. I spread the love here in the VC, my friend. I do. So what I'm getting at is that welcoming him into the Psycho Platter network, but also telling you guys that that have not checked out Art Room Records channel. He's got a fun contest going on right now. I already put the records away, or I'd show them again. Show your colors. That's what we're calling it. Show your colors. 3, yes, different colored vinyl records. Favorite band, favorite color. What is your favorite color? And what's your prettiest? What's your gorgeousest? I don't know. I swear this is an Irish coffee. Anywho, so, but you only have 2 days. So December 17th is the cutoff. Go have some fun. And he's got a nice prize up for grabs. I actually am a big Aerosmith fan, but of course I love the 70s stuff, but I do like Permanent Vacation and Pump. But as far as for the 2000 Aerosmith, not so much. Just Push Play. God. in the words sung by Steve Tyler, which maybe his favorite color was pink, because pink is my favorite crayon. Pink is the color of the sheets that we lay on. Oh boy, you couldn't come up more better lyrics than that. Anyway, but we're not talking that Aerosmith. We're talking about pre-first album Aerosmith. Yeah, when they were through the Northeast battling out everybody else. I like that kind of Aerosmith. I do. I think I previously mentioned in one other live stream at one point or another that if the music gods would have changed this, the jet that Lynyrd Skynyrd crashed on, okay, in 77, in October of 77, that jet almost went to Aerosmith instead. So how about that for a strange parallel musical universe? Skynyrd wouldn't have died. They would have kept going. Maybe with Johnny Van Zant, because Ronnie was talking about after the next studio album that because of what his vocal cords were, he was going to take a step back and be the manager, so to speak, and put Johnny in. That came from him. I know I'm paraphrasing, but imagine that happened and Aerosmith ended up in the plane crash and a couple people got killed, which is horrible to think about. But your last album of new material would have been Draw the Line. That would have been the last album for them. And then Live Bootleg came out a couple months after that. So that's where Aerosmith's legacy would have stopped right there, which those first couple albums of Aerosmith, awesome stuff. So this, like I said, it's titled Gifts, Finds, and Prayers. So what's the gift? You're asking me what the gift is. Maybe you didn't ask me what the gift is. Hello there, Jeff. How are you? Good to see you here. So my mom is somehow, she just knows how to pick good gifts. I don't know how she does it. I showed you the heavy metal book that she got me for my birthday. So for Christmas, even though I did not ask her to do this, she got me a year's subscription to Goldmine. This is the newest, well, maybe not. Maybe January 22 issue already out. But this was the last one I found over at Barnes. Brian Setzer, excellent album. This issue is loaded with all kinds of goodies. Doobie Brothers, Roger Taylor, Todd Rundgren, and Don McLean, who is going back out on the road. McLean is in 2022. And on the back here, one of my favorite Canadian bands, Saga. Yeah, new stuff, celebrating 40 years. Wonder if they're on the loose. See what I did there? Anywho, so a year subscription to Goldmine. I miss the old days of Goldmine. I started out in like around 1980, 81, started reading, and I'm actually in a couple issues in the letters section. Seriously, how about that for Psycho trivia? So that was the gift. So what are the finds? Well, let's get the crappy find out of the way first. I know some of you people are going to go, ooh. Sometimes if I go to this one particular resale shop and you show them like, hey, on Facebook, I'm visiting you, they take 10% off. So this, yeah. Yeah, I love those things though. I miss those. I really miss the huge paper that they did for Goldmine and Discoveries. I like Discoveries too. Um, couldn't log into StreamYard, having to go. I wonder why you can't. Do you have a StreamYard account, Doug? Because for you to be able to come through my StreamYard stream, you got to have a StreamYard account, and it's free. We can talk about it, another time. So for $1.29, hey, big spender. I don't spend a lot, guys. I don't have hundreds and maybe even $1,000 just to go off and do all that stuff. So I ended up finding Paul McCartney's double CD, Chaos and Creation, in the backyard. That's what I got. I'm nervous. I'm real nervous to listen to this thing because a lot of people pan the crap out of this. I mean, it really matters what I think. But, and of course, it also comes up with the Growing Up, Falling Down exclusive track download with the download code. I've got that too. So I'll listen to this when I have time. I got so many CDs, but $1.29, couldn't screw that up if I tried. So I got signed and music books. How about that? That's the fine portion. So let's see. At said place, I picked up. Now, I did not know that Gene Hackman was an author. I really didn't know that. Actor Gene Hackman. Yeah, this one's got the DVD with it. Like I said, I can't wait to see it. It's a double discer. So, Gene Hackman, Justice for None. So I said to myself, and he's alive, by the way. I didn't know Gene Hackman was still alive. He's 91. Go figure. So I said, it would be real funny if this was signed. Oh, yes. Yes, 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 yes. By both authors. I don't know when they did this book signing, but it only cost me $1.80. Yeah, $1.80 to get this book. Let's see what year, if it tells me when this was done. Yeah, and it definitely goes through the other page. 2004. So, yeah, signed Gene Hackman. Can't pass that up. I would never pass it up. And I love it when they're non-personalized, to be an honest truth, but I'll still get personalized books. That ain't going to stop me. It's just quite interesting. So let's see. This one, of course, not signed, but I don't know what it is about her. Right. I'm trying to remember what his last film was, to be honest, Jeff. I can't quite remember. But this one here, it says, a riveting account. Get happy. The life of Judy Garland. That's right. This will keep me busy for a while. Judy, obviously Dorothy, Wizard of Oz, her own TV show, her singing career, died of drugs, 1969. This one was put out in 2000, was this book. So, I heard she went through a lot of abuse, and we're even going back to Wizard of Oz. Supposedly there was some abuse on the set. I don't know how true that is, obviously. But it sounds like that she had a rough life mostly, and then, of course, got hooked to the prescription drugs. And she still is revered in certain parts of the entertainment industry. Okay, what's next? What else did I get? Oh, this one here. This is kind of silly. America on 6 rubles a day by Yakov Smirnov. Signed by Yakov. He was in the movie Moscow on the Hudson with Robin Williams. He showed up in that. And I can't remember, he was in another film too, for the life of me. Okay, so Hudson. basically, for my friend Paul, who's tinfoil hat Paul, who's been on my stream here a few times, and then also Doug Fields, because he from the Vinyl Grotto, because he's got this really, I don't know if it's a bad cold, Doug, or is it more? I don't know. Tell me. So praying for those guys, and in a lesser extent me. So because I got to get some tests run. All right. So what's next? How about a memoir, new 2013 edition? I only paid $1 for it. I didn't pay a lot for any of these books. That's what's fun. Marjorie Lord, A Dance and a Hug. Yes. Now Marjorie Lord, she was in Make Room for Daddy with Danny Thomas. I almost forgot about her because I'm used to Rusty, whatever the hell his name is, and Angela Cartwright, and of course Danny Thomas. But this one here, even though my name's not Lynn, best wishes, Marjorie Lord. That's right. So another signed book. I can't wait to read that. I'm fascinated with biographies, especially of the people in the entertainment industry. I just am. Oh, last one here. Last one. And boy, what a controversy in regards to this man's life and death. Okay. I was hoping this one would have been signed, of course, by the brother. I'm talking about I Fought the Law, The Life and Strange Death of Bobby Fuller. Yeah. I'm telling you, oh boy, here's the front, here's the back. Randy Fuller is the co-author on this. He was a member, of course, of the Bobby Fuller Four, which are known for I Fought the Lawn and the Lawn Want. No, I Fought the Law, kids. Which, of course, the Clash covered, a bunch of other people covered. I'm trying to see if I can show you a decent photo here, but they're all kind of tiny. Here, there's a teeny tiny one. So I'm glad to find this, to tell you the honest truth. Because boy, I'll tell you, what a death. Oh, jeez. Oh, okay, good. Sherry Jackson's eldest daughter. All right, I'm gonna feel like a moron. I'm sorry. Who's Sherry Jackson? I feel stupid. You know what? I'm actually looking forward to that book, honestly. If I do get to win it in your contest, she was very enchanting, enthralling, and very informative in regards to that book. So yeah, I hope I do get to, because I'll crow about it on one of my channels if I do get to be the lucky winner. Oh, okay. You know what? I'm going to tell you something, Jeff. I did not get to watch many episodes of that show. I cannot remember if it was Nick at Night or one of the other ones that used to show Make Room for Daddy. I know that Danny Thomas had I heard some very weird fetishes. I hate saying that. The man's dead. But that's what I heard. I'm not going to get into it here, obviously, but if it's even half remotely true what I heard, oh boy. I'll give you part of it. I'm not going to give you all of it. He liked having glass top tables. That's all I'm going to tell you. You'll have to figure out the rest. But I like the old school TV. I'm dropping an invite for anybody that cares to. I don't know if anybody saw this in my last episode, but let me touch on this briefly. Last Saturday, I got to go to my last stand-up comedy show of the year, Bobcat Goldthwait. I did not get to meet Bob, but I did get to get his autograph. He signed his 1988 album, Meet Bob. Okay. And as Tim Allen declared once, oh Lord, here we go. The Citizen Kane of alcoholic clown movies. I got to sign Shakes the Clown on Blu-ray. I love that movie. Yeah, sorry, Hudson. Yeah, The entertainment industry's sick. It really is. But I think a lot of people, knew that, over the years. I'll tell you this: my grandma, she was a huge. She would watch a lot. Hi, Jeff.
Hey,
Uh, how you doing, my friend?
doing good.
Good, good. How's the weather in OKC?
Well, other than it's warm and it's windy as hell. I
Mm-hmm.
was wearing shorts today.
Yes. Yeah, I get your drift. Nobody wants to see me in shorts, but it was 75 today for a
Yeah.
high.
hmm
Like you said, windy as all hell. In
hmm
fact, I guess it got so windy this afternoon, like pre 3 o'clock,
hmm
that about a block away from store one for Walmart, so the
hmm
main one, okay,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
two of the electric poles went like this. The
Yeah.
wind took them down. There was 6 electric trucks. There was power outage in that grid, and Walmart was closed for at least a few
Yeah.
hours. How about that?
hmm
That's weird.
Yeah.
The one here in Rogers got closed for at least 3 hours or more. I'm
hmm
told. I don't know if they ever opened yet. My daughter is supposed to go there tonight, and yeah, it makes you and I look normal. Yeah, no kidding, right?
hmm Now,
But
did you?
so yeah.
Was it? Were you close to the tornadoes that hit, or was it away from your area? Or
So here's the thing. I heard
hmm
about
I heard Arkansas, so I thought, oh.
yes, but I don't honestly know
hmm
how bad. I really,
Oh.
really don't.
hmm
Um, it's just, I mean, it's just was bad
Yeah,
all the way.
there was a bunch of people died in Kentucky, I know, but I heard it went through Arkansas too. So I thought, yeah,
Right.
I hope you're okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and prayers to them too, because
hmm
I saw some of the pics.
hmm
Jeez. Let's see here. Some guy left me a comment on my video saying Nez was receiving elder abuse and the VC doesn't have balls to think about it. You know what? You know what, Lisa? I'm going to tell you something. Uh, I heard similar rumors up to, I want to say it was before the Mike and Mickey show went out on that last tour. I
hmm
started hearing things. Okay. And I don't, I had people privately message me on Messenger, people I didn't know, talking about this topic. And I'm going, I don't know any of this stuff and I'm not going to get sued, even though I can always say allegedly. But you know what? I mean, not much can be done about it now if that's really the
Yeah.
case. But if it really happened, people need to be called out on it,
Yeah.
and it needs to come out to the forte. I mean, we can all agree that he had on that last tour, he did get to do what he wanted to do best. He
hmm
went out there, gave it his all. Some were better than others for concerts for this last tour. But like I mentioned in the last stream I was in, Andrew Sandoval went off and said, I guess maybe to also encourage Mike, that he was looking forward to doing the 2 to 3 concerts that they were going to do in 2022.
Yeah.
Of course, I don't know if that's going to happen now, or it's going to be, hey, guess what? Mickey's going to be the one doing it. Coming free from the studio. Yeah. That's why I don't drive the freeways if I don't have to. You got a nutty one. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, the news started coming out shortly before the tour was even started. It was like in rehearsals. So, but it still hurts. Damn, it still hurts.
Yeah.
I, I, I don't know. I don't have anything else to say about it. It's just he left a really good legacy of work, and he will always be known as an innovator and a co-originator of country rock.
hmm
One of the co-originators of video music as we know it. He always seemed to try to push the boundaries a little bit.
Oh yeah.
I'll tell you, one of my not so favorite albums. I mean, listen, I don't like all the Beatles songs or the Monkey songs. I like a majority of them. So I'll just tell you that I think, truthfully, so far, the only album that I'm not really in love with was Ray's from 2006. Now, he had some good musicians on there to back him. He had the Bissonette brothers. Go figure. I'd like to know how they landed in his universe, but they were there for bass and drums and for some of the tracks. And I'm just like, oh, okay. But it just seemed like some of that music went out way out. And I'm going, huh? Saying that, and I know it was recorded. I don't think anybody, I don't want to say I don't think anybody would care to buy it. I just wish they would put it out, though, that I remember this could have been discussed on Video Ranch 3D. This is going back about 15 plus years ago.
Mm-hmm.
He performed 2 concerts at a Christian Science church in California.
Mm-hmm.
And it was him with the church organ along with some type of electronic instrument. And I heard a bit of it. There was clips of this. Yeah. And I'm going, interesting. I did not dislike it, but I thought it was interesting. Yeah, and Mickey better not go anytime soon. That's all I'm saying. Right. And I say the same thing about Paul and Ringo, but why do I have a feeling Ringo's going to be the last Beatle standing?
Yeah.
I really have a feeling about that. Dave, I'm going to have to agree with you. I have seen a handful of videos, him in the wheelchair. I mean, I don't know if, okay, for that tour, I mean, for that case scenario, I am obviously not an insider, okay? I will never proclaim to be. I would just simply like to know, did Phil want to do this tour because he wanted to be in front of the fans, or was this money motivated? Seriously, which one was more important in this? Because truthfully, I'm just saying, and I know I'm a Genesis fan, so people can say fuck you to me on this next thing I'm going to tell you or not. I think truthfully, I would have rather have had a couple new songs on a CD, on a new CD, okay? Mm-hmm. Even if it was Nick drumming them, I don't care. As long as Phil was singing the Genesis tracks, I think I would have rather have had 2 or 3 new songs to remember him by. That's all I'm saying. Because there wasn't anything. They haven't done any studio stuff since 96, I think. Except, what is it, that remix of Carpet Crawlers from 99 where Peter chimed in too. Yeah.
His last solo album was the Motown covers album.
Right. You know, I didn't pick that up. You're right. And you know what? There was controversy about that too. They were saying that people behind the scenes pushed him out. But then supposedly, and I mean, he could have just said this. Like I said, I don't know shit about this, okay? That his son, Ansurs Link, actually had some scheduling. They were scheduled for something else. How true is that? Or was that just said to save face? I don't know. No, you need to buy the DVDs.
No, I just heard that Mickey's doing some concerts in February. So.
Who is?
Mickey Dolenz.
Okay. You know what? I'm going to tell you something about that, Boomer. I don't think they hated each other. I just simply think that it was like, for some of it, it was like oil and water. I mean, the thing was, I'm led to believe that if anything, and I'm not going to say hate, but I think Mike and Peter were at least in the 60s were a little more butt heads because of the way they wanted the music to go. I know Davey had an ego, but he was nice to his fans. Okay. So, I mean, let's face it, but I think after the moment that Mike punched that wall and said, "This could have been your face, motherfucker," all of them banded together because they were like, "You're right. We were going to just not say shit. You were the quote troublemaker," but he wasn't. He had a vision. And he's like, "Let's do it." The sad part about it is that we only get Headquarters out of it. And Peter loved that album. He used to talk about that when he was asked. He said that was the moment that band was like this. Because after that, it wasn't. I mean, I think they're maybe together on a track for like Pisces Aquarius. I think they're on 1 or 2 tracks together. But other than that, it's all session musicians. It goes back to that shit. Headquarters was to prove a point. The point was proven. They're like, "Hey." So going back to Nez's getting out of the Monkees the first time, see, Peter had to pay a lot. Oh, yeah, to get, because the contract, if I remember correctly, was till 1971. It was a 5-year contract. And Peter had to pay out for 69, 70, 71. So he had 3 years. And I'm led to believe the only thing he had left was his house. His house, his car, and his guitar. That was it. So when Mike, by the end of 69, that 69 tour was like the writing on the wall for him. And he's just like, "Oh God," but he was like hem-hawing on the fence because he did like dealing with Mickey and Davey. He had no problems with that. It's just he really wanted to just do the solo thing. And so in essence, the last thing that he did was in February of 70, which was the Kool-Aid commercial. That last Kool-Aid commercial, it was the Nerf one. The Nerf commercial. That's what it was the last thing that he ever did. And then he had to buy himself out for like a year and a half of that contract.
Yeah.
He said that hurt too, but I guess not as much as Peter's out. But I'm like, I don't know. It was a that those couple years were great. Okay. We look back on that body of work, and then, I like Nez's stuff. I think the RCA stuff, truthfully, is my favorite. I do like some of the Pacific Arts stuff. In fact, I've been going back to like Cruisin' and Magic and Tonight and a couple other ones. I've been alternating between Infinite Rider and From a Photon Engine. Those ones. The only one I don't have is The Prison. I got all the other Mike Vinyl solo stuff. Hell, even that Troubadour performance that he did in 2018, I like that. That was good. I'm glad they captured that one. And then let's see here. Hold on a minute. I was thinking about the 87 tour when Mike left. Yeah, you know what? That did leave a bad taste in a lot of people, because what happened was they're like, okay, so Mike shows up for the last 86 show at the LA Greek. He shows up on MTV for the Christmas medley because they were huge over at MTV. All right. And he shows up as Santa, which I think, Jeff, you commented about that video. So I wanted to share that to everybody in my Facebook, because I saw that like, even though it was pre-recorded, but I saw it like brand new, and I'm like, holy shit, that's all four. I was like, that was like my Christmas present for that year, was to get to see them together. But the thing that disappointed me, he's talking about 87. What disappointed me was 96, 97.
Yeah.
There was some supposed drama behind that shit. I got to see him in 96 in Rockford, Illinois, but it was just the 3 that we're used to. Mike, he only was there for the UK shows. He was supposed to do part of the US tour in 97, something went wrong behind the scenes, and that's how we got out of that. And supposedly the other three were like, wait a minute, you know. So I think it was a love-hate. I mean, they all took their turns. They all took their turns loving and hating this four-headed monster that grew bigger than any of them individually. Okay. I still remember, God, I can't remember what year this is. I want to say it was 2001, where either they fired Peter or Peter just said, fuck it, to the other two, because they were supposedly, these two were bickering, or maybe they were bickering at him, and Peter's just like, fuck it, I'm done. And that's the reason why the O2 tour was just the two of them.
Yeah.
So that's the story, supposedly.
That's the way it is. How long has it been since you've seen their movie?
Okay, so here's the thing. I have, like, okay, I have it on VHS. I know that's it, but I don't have it on DVD. I don't have it. I know it was in the BBS Criterion Collection, which I don't want to spend I think it was $100 just to get one movie.
Right.
Because I've seen Easy Rider. I saw 5 Easy Pieces. I'm like, I just want the damn head on Blu-ray. That didn't sound right, but I know where I'm going here. So because there's like what, eight extra minutes or some shits on the Blu-ray. And then I wish I had that Blu-ray box set that came out, because they found a shit ton more outtakes from that film and stuck them on there. Oh, there's somebody trying to come up here. There he is. There. You were like doing the Doctor Who thing for 2 seconds and going in and out. Yeah. It's kind of a timey winky wonky thing, you know.
I discovered that movie.
Hello.
It showed up on YouTube, and I had seen it in years.
That's what I saw it recently. It was
I remember it came out when I was in grade school, and I had friends whose parents took them to the movie, and they left in the middle of the movie. You know, what is all this kind of stuff? You know? And so it's kind of like my mom and dad refused to take me, so I had to wait until I got drunk one time when I was about 19 and watched it on Cinemax, and it was pretty good. And
they had it on Cinemax, huh?
Yeah, back, you know, after some moody film or whatever, and then it keeps getting better every time you see it. I've seen several times. It's kind of a time capsule, you know, of the 1960s. Actually, it was the Monkees' decline, unfortunately, because by 68, their songs were not on the charts. And basically, it was, you know, the writing was on the wall. But it was it's a pretty good time capsule of 68.
Yeah, I would rather watch that movie 50 times in a row than watch again 33 1/3.
Yeah. Oh, I can't sit through that one. I can't sit through that one.
The only good thing about 33 1/3 is the very end, and then they ruin that with all those people coming in.
Yep.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I think I've told you there's a better mix of it on YouTube now.
Yes. Yes.
Apparently, half of that noise was dubbed in. I mean, I don't understand why.
Wow.
It's so much cleaner it's so much cleaner on this version. So they must just, some of the people must just be pretending to play, and then they dubbed it in later. I don't know.
Yes.
But it's just better. I did a single edit of it. It's really good. I wanted to just show you this.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there you go. You know, Tim, let me make this big. I had that at one point or another. I don't know where the hell my copy went. I have the newer stuff. I have that on CD. I just found it in a crate.
I think it's pretty rare now. Yeah, I got them both.
Yeah.
Mike on Rhino, huh? Weird.
Nice.
No, it's not weird.
Nice.
It's not weird at all. This is on Rhino.
Those are good comps. Those are very good comps.
Oh yeah, that's all I have on CD. I think I might have one of the albums, actually, one of the First National Band albums on CD, but I don't have much.
I remember seeing some of his 70s videos. If older people might remember, there was an ancient video show on I think it was USA called Radio 1990. Came on in the late 1970s. And I saw Rio, and also they had a show called New Wave Theater that was really outrageous, and that goes to like
heard about that.
Where I live, we didn't even have that station until the 80s sometime.
But I saw Rio, and I saw a couple others of his videos on that channel. Here's a brand new former monkey, and
MTV showed Rio quite a few times.
Yeah.
Yes, I think Joanne likes to pop up everywhere. Of course, I like Rodan. I'm sorry, I've been going back to that clip for the last few days.
Yeah.
I even showed some friends. I'm like, you got to see this. I showed him that. I showed him the Princess Guinevere on the Monkey Show when he's doing that. And he turns in his man voice halfway through. I'm like, and then.
Oh, get this out of the mud, kind of. Oh, yeah. That's good.
Yeah. Hey, what's that button you got there? It says save the Texas Prairie Chicken. Hey, of course, how many times did you have to go through? We have to save the Texas Prairie Chicken now. Us and Mickey. We have to save
it. Yummy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got out and watched my favorite Monkeys episode, I think 5 times in a row. What's your favorite episode? Monstrous Monkey Mash.
Okay.
With Monster and Dracula and the and the lady who played T'Pring in the Star Trek episode, and that kind of stuff. And the song featured in that episode was "Going Down." That was the B-side to "Daydream Believer."
Nice. Yeah. I always love that song. God, I don't know.
But that was the Halloween. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, you brought up a good point though, Jeff. You know, I mean, I've watched all 58 of those for all these years, and I don't know if I have a favorite. I really don't. I do like the second season more than the first. I will tell you that much. Yeah. But I mean,
they're more relaxed,
Yeah.
And I don't know if it has something to do with mind-altering drugs, maybe, but they're all silly through the second. Don't you notice they're all silly through the second season?
Hey, just
I kind of like.
Go ahead.
I kind of like
Amazon cards.
Yeah, nice. Pilot's good too.
I think it might be because I've just seen it like 10 times more than I've seen any other episode. But
which one?
The pilot.
The pilot,
the very first one, and then it was one of the early episodes. I don't know if it aired first, but they altered it. I mean, the monkeys aren't even singing in the pilot.
Right. That's Voice and Heart, right?
I think, or somebody else.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's probably Voice and Heart singing.
See, I actually would not have. There's one we don't hear too much about, and I don't think I've ever come across anybody that was there in the mid-'70s and caught one of those Dolenz Jones Voice Heart shows. I mean, the album's good. Yeah. It ain't great, but it's good. And I'm like, I mean, that was the best we were going to get in that time. Now,
I picked it up in the last couple of years.
Exactly. And I don't know if you guys
might have their Live in Japan CD too, or something like that. I don't know.
I got that too. But I mean, thanks to YouTube, I came across, I guess they had some type of special. There was
there's been a lot of that dropped lately. And then they were on the Mike Douglas show to promote it. And they're on somebody else's show and on the special. And they did the same thing in all the places. It's like, why watch the special? You just saw it on the Mike Douglas show. Yeah. They did the exact same stuff.
Dinosaur Show.
Really?
They were on there too.
Show, yeah. I think I counted at least 3 different monkey documentaries, from different sources. The Behind the Music and the a couple other ones. So they're right there for the watching. And there's something somebody has there's something called the Monkeys Archives on YouTube, and they have a lot of rare
good channel
appearances and whatever. Because I remember seeing them on Johnny Cash, because my mom and dad used to watch Johnny Cash, and it was 1969. It was out of favor, because they're not on the charts anymore. They're not in the teen magazines, You know what I mean?
Right. Dwayne, no,
They
I
put
didn't
off
know
the
that.
card. Oh, I
So
heard that one. Yeah.
Yeah, Les Emerson. From the You Know What.
Yeah. Sign, yeah, that song. Oh, I had something I was going to tell you, Paul. I
Yes.
don't know if you heard. I read in the Classic Rock magazine if apparently they're going to be reissuing that Badfinger album, the really good one. What's it called? A Straight Up with
Yeah.
It was made with George Harrison as producer and also as Todd Rundgren as producer. So they're tracks from both producers that exist, and they're going to try to put them all together and have a deluxe edition.
Ooh. I hope there's some
I thought
goodies.
that just got released. I thought it got a 50th release.
Oh, is it out already? Maybe that's what I'm
Somebody
talking about.
showed it on vinyl, but it wasn't deluxe.
Mm-hmm.
I saw somebody's video that showed it.
Well, they said something about it in the Classic Rock website, and it interviewed the last Joey, what's his name, the last surviving member, and he said he didn't get along with Todd Rundgren, and he said there were some tracks from George Harrison, and also before he had to leave to do something else, and there's some tracks with Todd Rundgren. So,
what happened there was Ravi Shankar called him and told him what was happening in Bangladesh. And that's why George left. George went to put together Bangladesh to go to Bangladesh. And that's why Badfinger is at Bangladesh, because that's who he was working with at the time he got the call.
But apparently what it says on that site, there are recorded tracks with both producers. So they're going to try to...
They did. Half the album is, you can tell, day after day is George. And Baby Blue, the other single, is Todd, and it's obvious. It's obvious to my ears, the difference between the two is like night and day.
But they said there was a bunch of extra stuff, so whatever.
I'd still say that's probably my favorite album.
That's a pretty good one.
No Dice is really good too. Well, but my favorite of all of their albums is "Wish You Were Here." It's fantastic.
I do love that album.
In my top 10 albums of all time, probably. I'm pretty sure it is.
I'm telling you, just what a damn. It's such a damn shame. I mean, it really is. That whole history. It's like, good God, it was like they were destined to fail. And I'm like, it's just, damn it.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's everything that happened to them just happened badly.
Yeah.
You know, but some of it was their fault. I mean, from everything I hear, Tommy was a real sort of dick to everybody, and that never helped things. And you know, just stuff, life happened to them. I mean, Ron had to leave. The original bass player left because Tommy was they had a band rule. They were all living in the same house. The rule was no chicks. In other words, don't get involved with anybody. You know what I mean? Band first. And Ron went and got his girlfriend pregnant, and she had the kid. And so they were living at the house with Badfinger, and Tommy's playing music in all hours of the night at full blast. And there's a baby trying to sleep. And Tommy just told him to go screw off. You shouldn't have got her knocked up. And so Ron left the band because of that. And that's where Joey comes in. And then Tommy took over on bass. He was originally the lead guitarist.
I looked this up really quick. And you're right. 2020, there was a 50th anniversary straight up. The second CD is basically rejected versions, demos, and more. And there's 1, 2, 3. It ends off with 3 BBC session tracks. So I'm gonna have I want that.
There's something else for your list.
No, the list is never ending. I have got. What was it about? Geez, maybe 10 years ago. I'm looking through the record store I go to, the 99 cent. They like stuck all these CDs for 99 cents. And and I found a damn Badfinger bootleg. I've never seen a Badfinger bootleg before. I'm going, oh, wait a minute. And I'm like, I looked at it. I'm sorry, don't ask me what the content was. I can't quite remember, but some of the tracks were off of some rejected third album from Apple. I can tell you that. And this CD, though, was made in the 90s.
Did it have a white cover with a cartoon on it? That's the only.
No. Yellow.
Okay, that's the only bootleg I've ever seen. I have it on vinyl, that one. That's why I asked. It's a 2-record set on vinyl.
And so it was, I found that.
Besides the BBC sessions, which I also have, which is a semi-bootleg, semi-legit.
Yeah, I never saw that one. That was on Strange Fruit label, I think. I never saw a copy. I would love to have that in my collection. Yeah, I never saw one. But
it's good, actually. It was the first BBC sessions I ever heard by anybody before I ever heard the Beatles.
Oh, wow.
Had it a long time.
And then also in that basket, I'm going, wait a minute. I never heard the damn thing. And I don't even know if it ever got a CD release. And if it did, it must have been real brief. In 71, Zal Yankovsky from the Lovin' Spoonful made a solo album.
Oh, yeah, after he left, yeah.
That one. And I'm like, I'm like, oh, and it looked like it was a CDR, okay? But I'm like, I don't give a shit. The cover was interesting. It was the cover of the album cover, but I'm like, for 99 cents, I'll get this damn thing. And it was a weird album, but I liked it. And I like Spoonful, okay? So to hear this, and I want to say Jerry Yester produced it along with Zal, and I think one of the other Spoonful boys was on that album too. So I was just like, oh, okay. So, but yeah, so you never know what you're going to find in the bargain bins.
Yeah. But, now, was that after he was in Canada, or was it recorded before? Because I thought he was deported.
So
that's what I heard. You know,
he did the album, I think, in '69.
Oh, okay.
And
after.
It got reissued, or maybe it got its first issue in '71. And I think it was on Kama Sutra or Buddha. I can't remember. But I was just like, oh, okay. Yeah, see. Now, I'll say this. I've only ever met one member of the Lovin' Spoonful. And it wasn't one of the original four. It was Jerry Yester. I met Jerry Yester. And this is gonna be a strange story if you'll allow me to tell it. But so this was this was on my honeymoon to Jessica. So you're talking back in October 2014. All right, that was the story. So she came up with the idea of like, let's go to Eureka Springs, Arkansas, okay, which is a touristy town, but there's some nice things. There's haunted buildings, that kind of stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
So I was like, so I started looking. I said, who's going to be in the area? Right. So the first thing that I got excited about was Ozark Mountain Daredevils was going to do a show at what's called the Auditorium. It was a 900-seater, beautiful old building, literally in downtown Eureka Springs. So I'm like, hey, I want to go see Ozark Mountain Daredevils. And I think Brewer and Shipley opened for him, if I remember correctly. So it would have been a nice thing. Now, Jess wouldn't have probably got into it because she doesn't, whatever. But I found out that the tickets were like almost sold out and they were too much. So I'm like, all right, who else is going to play? Oh, so there was this little hole in the wall, like straight downtown Eureka, called the Stone House. You could probably shove about a good 50 people if you do it right. And I found out that Jerry Yester was going to play for a couple hours on a Saturday night. And I said, Dums. and she's like, oh, shit. She knew right off the bat. She's like, I go, how would you like how would you like to have something light to eat and maybe a glass of wine or something? Just for a little bit. We'll stay for about a half hour. And she goes, who is it? And I was like,
Yeah.
and I told her, I said, Jerry Esther from the Love and Spoonful. I said, I've got some stuff I wouldn't mind getting signed. And I had Everybody's Playing and Best of Volume 2, because the cover slightly changed to show him as the redhead. Everything else is the same. And I didn't have at that time, but I do now. Revelation 69, which if you've ever heard that record, that is an odd record. Very odd record for them to close their career on. And I've heard they were down to like 2 by that point. So I literally bump into Jerry as I'm coming in there. And once again, knowing he's a redhead and he's the only damn redhead in the room holding a mandolin, I'm going, ha ha ha. I said, I found my quarry. And so he was nice as could be. I got a picture, taken with him. And then he signed my stuff, and he told me a little bit about the stuff. And I think he was actually the one that told me they were on the Ed Sullivan Show. And it was, damn it.
Several times.
She's a mystery to me. They were on for that single. And then they did the flip side. And it was, that whole show clips are weird. They just seem like they're out of place. But it was fun. And so he was the one that told me about that, right? So I'm like, okay. So the next thing, though, so we flash forward to 2018.
My brother, I think.
Jimmy, that's right. But Jimmy was also in Love and Spoonful for a little while, too. And Jerry was in the association, too, for a little while. It gets hard to catch all these things. So I go take a look, and I'm not kidding. It is our 4th anniversary week, and what comes up? Jerry Yester arrested, FBI. I'm like, what? Images, we'll just say images were found on the computer. But supposedly he's on the mend. He's in the rehabilitated, started a support group. So, but I heard he got sick. I don't know if it was the COVID. I think he might have finally got out of the hospital. So he's had an interesting last couple of years, but, I was always kind of before that news, I was hoping to meet him again, because not only did I find that Revelation album I told you about, but I also found the album that he's on with the Modern Folk Quartet on Warner Brothers, and he just looks real young on that one. Yeah. Like I said, it shocked me, to honest truth. I don't know. So it was like 20 to 30 counts. That's what I thought I heard. I could be wrong on that, though.
That's a shame.
Oh, man, oh, man, oh, man. So, everybody going to do okay for the holidays? Christmas next week?
Yeah.
In about
doing good.
Yeah.
It's going good. I have a date Saturday night, and then we're going to open presents next week. So, there you go.
What about you, Tim? What about you, Tony, Tim?
I'd skip it if they let me, but they don't let me.
Well, I get it, though. Okay, I get it. It's going to be very low key. It's Psyko's household. Very low key. I mean, I felt bad too. Like last night, I'm glad I didn't do this last night. Last night, my poor little 5-year-old grandson, I'm getting given the hugs and, the love yous and stuff. I didn't even make it to my car. And the door opens and my daughter's yelling, Noah got hurt. Excuse me? Oh, staples in his head. That's what he ended up. Poor little thing. He jumped off the couch. I didn't see this because I was obviously heading to my car, and good thing she caught me. And he jumped off the back of the couch, landed the corner of the wall, That's what split his head. I'm going. Because I go, let me see. Let me see. And I look and I go, oh. I said, nope, time to go. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
That was like the first time in a while any of my grandkids had a boo-boo.
Yeah.
A medium-sized boo-boo. Could have been a lot worse.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, ouch indeed, sir. And I wasn't there, of course, because due to the policies in my state anyway, only immediate family, not even Grampy could have gone in. But I had to try to get up for work early, which didn't work because I got sick, stomach stuff. So she had a ride to take it back home, but I was just like, poor little thing. Only 5, just turned 5. That little daredevil. Maybe that I said, okay, does that mean I got to get you a poop emoji crash helmet? Is that what I got to do for you now too? I used to say that about Jess because she'd always heard like, do I need to get you a poop emoji crash helmet?
Mm-hmm.
I'll get his name on it. Then you'll feel extra special. That didn't come off right. Never mind. I didn't mean that, kids. I'm not that evil.
Does he still have stitches in his head right now?
Oh, hell yeah, because it was last night.
Really? Oh,
Yeah,
okay. I thought it was okay.
It was like in the
they have
back
to
near
stay in there a while. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Back near the top.
That happened to me. I fell in the back of my head when I was at work. And of course I cracked my head open. Of course, Walmart wouldn't pay for it. Of course, they take care of employees. But
it'll be okay.
Oh, that was a dozen years ago.
Yeah.
So I told them I wasn't going to pay for it. So, but that was a long time ago. But anyway,
I agree with you.
But I don't want to do everything bad.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that hurt your grandson, especially at Christmas time.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean,
because those people have to stay. Don't they have to stay in there a couple of weeks, something like that?
What's that?
How long do those staples have to stay in his head? A couple of weeks?
My daughter told me 6 days.
She
told me that today. Yeah.
He'll be tender a little while. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no kidding. I hope he learned his lesson.
No offense. Be careful. Mm-hmm.
I mean, did we? When I think I did when I was a kid. It only took once, and I'm like, okay, I know not to do this shit anymore. And I'm like, no more sticking the fork in the electric. No, I'm kidding.
My son used to do that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Uh-oh. Oh, Dwayne.
Ouch.
Oh, see, I know about barbed wire fences, but ouch.
Oh, yeah, this one. Mm-hmm.
What were you trying to be, Mick Foley? What's going on, Dwayne? No, I'm not making light of your injury.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. My wife was good friends with Dale Ramos. Okay, yeah. She passed. Oh, no. Yeah. Oh. Swine flu. That would have been like what? 2009, 2010? I got the stupid swine flu. I remember back when that happened. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, Dale is Larry's brother. Yeah. I can't remember. Dusty, I can't remember. Isn't Larry dead? Either Larry died or he got sick. There's only 2 members of the association left now, guys, that are performing. Jim Yester's one of them. I can't remember who the other one is.
Mm-hmm.
But
I don't know.
Yeah. I know that I really wish that Happy Together tour would come around. They don't come near me. I would have loved to have seen that. The only time, and I found out about it too late, was like 2017 or 2018. They came to Branson. They came to Branson, Missouri, and it was Mickey, Mark Lindsay, and I'm going, what the hell? I said, how do I find out about this after the fucking event? Because I'm like, of course, I love Monkeys and I love Paul Revere and the Raiders. And I'm just like, shit, and the Turtles. And I'm like, my mind would have went, I can't remember who else was on the bill. But I'm like, Branson, not 2 hours away from me. I'm like, shit. And I keep trying to get it here in Rogers. But either whoever it is mustn't like that kind of music, you know, because I'm like, hey, it's an outdoor venue. It'll hold up to 10,000 people. Have them.
Yeah.
Make it
Yeah.
really priced and go.
That's the same kind of concert my girlfriend and I went in 1986. That's when we saw the Three Monkeys. And we also saw Gary Puckett without his Union Gap.
Yeah, I saw that tour.
Yeah, of the Grassroots and some of the Hermits, but no Peter Noon.
One of the Hermits.
Yeah, was it
just
the
guitar player?
The guy, Leck, whatever his name is. Yeah.
And Gary Puckett in his wife beater T-shirt and leather pants.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep. But the Grassroots were terrible. At least when I saw them.
Really?
Rob Grohl could not keep up with the band, or vice versa. Somebody was way ahead and somebody was way behind, and they could not get it together. And that was like, I was like, are you friggin' kidding me, man?
So you're saying it was him or the band were sooner or later? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah. The music was always behind the band, but it seemed to me that it was Grill. That it wasn't the band, that it was Grill. But you know, some guy was singing Peter Noon songs, and
some guy with
the Monkeys were the highlight.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Wayne, you're right. Don't go see the Grassroots now. It is a tribute band. No members for Grassroots.
Nope.
Gary Puckett, I like his singing, but why was every hit involving young nubile women? Why? That's what I want to know. Why?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's everybody sang about that back then.
Yeah, but he made it extra creepy. That was the Gary Puckett factor. My favorite song from him, though, Over You. I just like the way the instrument, like even the drumming on this. I'm like, I love the whole song, but it's like the band worked really good on that track. And I was like, okay. It was just a neat little pop track.
Well, it was probably session musicians. Most albums were.
Probably.
But the Monkees can't get in the Hall of Fame because of session musicians. But every other artist from the 60s is in the Hall of Fame using the exact same session musicians that they used.
Yeah, it's such
horseshit. Whatever.
Such horseshit. I mean, let's face it. They're not going to go in. Partridge ain't going in. Banana Splits won't go in.
I don't expect the Partridge Family to get in. There's a lot of people that ought to be in that aren't.
Mm-hmm. And the Evolution Revolution won't go in.
No, the Archies won't be in. Yeah.
No.
The Archies.
Yeah.
None of them. The Hardy Boys.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they had it. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. I'm dated.
You know, Dusty, you're right. That was Asia was stealing at their pinnacle powers. I'm not kidding. That is that.
Really
honest
good.
to God, there is not a shit track on that album.
Mm-hmm.
And then they go from that to Gaucho, and I like Gaucho, but I don't love it. And I love the long fucking explanation that Fagan gave about it. This is why it doesn't sound. And then I was on a Steely Dan fan site. This was a few years ago, some forum thing. Mm-hmm. And even though Fagan said certain tapes were destroyed, they weren't. Because what happened was it was one of the engineers managed to record some of the stuff that was left off. And I got to hear a little bit of it. And I'm going, ooh. See, this is why I like bootlegs and illicit shit. Because you're like, ooh, never heard that. And, you know, even though they were a little muddy, obviously, if they could have cleaned them up, they would have made nice bonus tracks. Seriously, I think I was up for like 2 or 3 bonus tracks on that album.
And, have you seen the making of the Asia album?
I know what you're speaking of, but no,
it's floating around. It's floating around YouTube. There's a Japanese
I'll
version
have to look.
I haven't seen it either.
It's pretty good.
Have you ever seen the credits on the back of the Steely Dan Gold album? I don't know if they made the CD, but they made the album.
No.
There's over 40 musicians credited.
Yeah.
It's 2 columns. It's 2 columns of names. It's like,
Yeah.
are you kidding me? So many people played on those songs.
Well, I heard what part of it had to do with certain people couldn't deal with it. They were like super taskmasters, and it was like, what was it? They always complimented Larry Carlton, Skunk Baxter. I think Bernard Purdy was on one of those damn albums, and something happened because they always wanted him on an album. So he goes, I can't remember what track it is. It's only one track that he's on. But he said afterwards, he's like, I think he said something like crazy bunch of whatever. And he's like, never again. And I'm just like, okay. And honestly, that's one of the few times I can stand Michael McDonald. Is his backgrounds for Steely. Seriously.
Yeah.
That's it. 4 different guitars did the same solo.
What that song
was.
Yeah.
And they did kind of dial a solo. This one, and this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I read that.
But it's when that album came out, I remember there used to be the French Canadian copy floating around on gold vinyl, and I had that once upon a time. And the credits on that were just stupid. So many people.
I do.
So you're going to go see Ronald Fagan, Steely Dan if they come?
No,
because that died, didn't he? The guy who played the guitar. He's dead.
They went. They're going to come to the amp here. Steve Winwood's the opener, and the thing is that no, I got no desire to, because, like I said, Becker's dead. But they did bring back Larry Carlton. He's in there too on the tours, which is at least okay. You get that feel for it. But I'm like, I'm just like, sorry, I already saw. I think it was like 2016, 2017, and just like Dan too, like I did. There was certain songs she liked. But I mean, and so I can't sing real well anyway. But my favorite when it would come on would be "Dirty Work," because I always loved that song. But I knew that one by heart, and I would be like really bad doing "I'm your fool to do your dirty work." Oh yeah, that kind of stuff. So I love doing that shit. But for others, for her, it was she loved Deacon Blue and Black Cow 19, and I'm like, that's one of the few that we liked together, right? So when we went, I could think of 5 tunes that were glaring omits out of that set list, and they come back for one encore, and we're both going, ooh, thinking it was going to be more than that, but they played Kid Charlemagne instead. I'm going, really, you're going to play Kid Charlemagne instead of boom, 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 boom. But I don't think they even played Ricky. They didn't play Ricky. They didn't play Dirty Work. They didn't play what was something off of Asia. I remember they didn't play that either. They gave Walter Becker started going into about a 5-minute diatribe. I'm not kidding you, because I counted it, about, when they got to Cuervo Gold, fine Colombian. He starts going into this spiel about drugs. And I'm like, okay, I get it. You're a doper. Who gives a shit? You could have shortened this little story. We could have got one more song out of this. Then there was these 3, and I'm just saying for description, these 3 black, beautiful looking women background singers. That was their job. They came to the forefront and sang 3 songs. I'm going, wait a minute. Okay. I like that you're here. Your background vocals are great, but you're not, the marquee is not you 3.
Yeah.
Okay, we could have got 3 more songs again out of this shit, and it would have been a better. I actually left half disappointed, and I'm going.
Yeah.
She fell asleep. She fell asleep halfway through. I had to wake her up.
Mhm.
I'm like, hey, it's encore time. We're almost done. Did I miss anything? No.
Yeah.
No, you didn't.
At least they did a lot. I saw Todd Rundgren in the mid 90s, 96 ish, 97, somewhere in there, 95, and he showed up with these 3 black guys in like dashikis, like wearing, you know, like bed sheets, and they did rap for 90 minutes and left.
What?
Worst show I've ever seen. He did one of his own earlier songs, Black Mariah, a song I don't even like, and that was the only early song he did. Other than that, it was like he was on this big rap thing at the time, and that's all he did. And he did stuff from the 90s and beyond. And I'm like, and it was sandwiched in between Warren Zevon and the Kinks.
Oh.
All 3 nights in a row, the same bar. It was a bar. I saw the Kinks in a bar.
Damn.
Yes. And it was weird because Zevon called the bar like a week before. He's like, I'm going to be starting a tour up in Boston, and I'm going to be driving through DC, and it's going to be Sunday. He's like, you guys got anything going on? The bar's like, no. And Zevon's like, can I play? And they're like, sure. So it got announced like on a Friday that Sunday he's going to be there. So like 50 people showed up. So it was like Zevon was playing for me. I talked to the man between songs.
Nice.
You know, it was fantastic. And then the next night, my second favorite show ever was that Zevon show. The next night, Rundgren shows up, and I'm just like, and then after that, the Kinks just were friggin' fantastic in this little bar. And
I envy you.
Rundgren just ruined the week almost.
Yeah.
I envy you on that Zevon and Kinks. I'll tell you that
Yeah,
right
the Kinks,
now.
the Arista period. Oh man, that's some good albums.
Yep.
Trying to think. I mean, okay, I don't do karaoke that often. I really don't. I haven't done it in years. But when I would, it'd be Werewolves. Because I'm like, everybody's going to sing on this one. And I'm just like, we'd go right into it. And I know all the damn words.
Let me tell you what Zevon did that night. Since there was almost nobody there, he starts the song and then he stops. And he's like, you know what? I've often wondered what it would be like if Lou Reed sang this song. And he sang the entire song, did the whole song, didn't just do a minute of it, did the entire song as Lou Reed. And it was just fantastic.
Oh, God.
Especially his ahoo's, because he's going, ahoo, Werewolves of London. It was like, oh my God. He was, and he's smiling and he's having the best time, and we're having a great time going, this is fantastic. And he didn't do it again like normally either. That was it. That was his Werewolves of London.
That's funny.
It was just fantastic.
Too bad nobody had that recorded. I would have loved to have heard that.
That would have been
probably the only time he ever did that in his life was that one night, because there was nobody there. He's like, who cares? It's like 50 of you. If there was that many. I mean, I was leaning on the stage. Literally, Zevon's standing right in front of me, and I'm leaning on the stage the whole night while he's, you know. It was fantastic.
I think the only bar show that barely anybody came, 2 of them I can think of right off the bat. One, and there was a decent amount of promotion, but I don't think more than 30 people showed up. Wishbone Ash. And I'm going, what? This is it? There's only, so I had up front, and it's only Andy Powell though, but still the band cooked, and they're just tearing through, and he played like half of Argus that night. And I was just like, oh my God. I mean, they played new stuff too, but they had a nice healthy mix. And some people were even attempting to dance. They were attempting to dance to Wishbone Ash, and they were drunk, and I'm going, all right. I said, let's see this. This is just as good as the show. And he's just sitting there wailing away on his flying V, like literally the neck's almost in my damn face. I'm like, yes. And then the second one was blues. We used to have a place here in town that's been shut down now for, oh God, probably 6-7 years. It used to be called the Bayou. And I mean, a lot of stand-up comics and stuff would come through. Black Oak, Arkansas would play anywhere and everywhere. They played there. Savoy Brown would show up. They played there. But that was before I moved down there. So when I found out that one of the last shows they were going to have was Bernard Allison, Luther's kid, and I'm going, what? Bernard's coming? $10? Fuck yeah. And Jess is going, who's Bernard? Doesn't matter. You're going to have a good time. So we got a table. It was me and a handful of friends. And so I'm like, in the intermission, so what do you think about this? She goes, actually, I kind of like it. And I'm like, I got a favor for you, it appears. Somehow we got chummy. We got to talk to Bernard. I talked to Bernard, got a picture with him. The drummer for his band at that time was looking to score a little. And so I go, hold on a minute. And I'm like, sweetie. So I brought her into this because she had family members that were actually in the bar that did that stuff. So outside at intermission, they cut their little dope. I thought that was funny. And then, for some reason, his drumming was a little more relaxed for the
second half. Yeah.
But that was a bar show too. They only had maybe about 30, 40 people at the most. And I'm just like, and here he is 5 feet from me. And I'm like, oh. So, but I'm jealous for you, Tim. Zevon and the Kinks.
I've seen... There used to be a few really. This was when I lived in D.C. There was quite a few venues that were bars that would have like really good bands. One might have been called the Bayou. I can't remember. It's not there anymore. That might be the place where I saw Zevon. I saw him again at the same place, and this Australian power pop group called Something Happens was on tour with him. And these guys were fantastic. And the place has got a really good crowd. And I'm the only one in front of the band. Everybody else is off at the side of the table. I'm the only one paying attention to this band. They're playing for me, basically. I felt so sorry for them. And I felt self-conscious standing out in the middle by myself. Even my wife was off to the side. And I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm doing and so these guys just were like rocking it up for me, right? And they even covered a Klaatu song, which I thought was fantastic. And then
wow.
So the show's over, and I go back to my wife, and nobody's coming out and getting rid of equipment or anything. Nothing is happening. And I'm like, what's going on here? And it's only like 15 or 20 minutes goes by. And then they come back out. And I'm like, this can't be an encore. It's been 20 minutes. I'm the only one that was applauded. And then here comes Zevon. And Zevon, the idea of the show turns out was they opened, and then they were Zevon's backing band. So this was Zevon with a power pop band. And this was fantastic. This is the best show I've ever seen. Zevon has my top 2 shows. It just blew the roof off the dump, as Letterman would say. Just freaking fantastic. It was just. Yeah, I've seen some good shows. Many, many good shows. In fact, I quit going to like bigger places after I moved to DC. There's no point. Why pay 50, 75, $100? And this was 20 years ago or more. To go see somebody when you can pay 20 and go see them way up close. You're not a million miles away. You're right up close. Why would you want to, you can have a beer in your hand while you're watching them. Why wouldn't you want to do that? So that, I quit,
Oh, I'm trying to think.
I saw 3 times the Brian Setzer Orchestra once
Ooh.
in a really small bar. And this was his first, maybe it was his second tour, but he still had he cut his orchestra down a little bit over time. He still had all 17 pieces, and they could barely fit on the stage. In fact, for the encore, he just walked over to the side of the stage and had a cigarette. He's like, I'm not trying to climb over all these things to get back there. It was hard enough coming out. He's like, screw that. So he might have talked to me. I can't remember because he was standing like right in front of me smoking a cigarette while he's waiting for the encore. But then he wouldn't play there again. He moved to the 930 Club after that, which is still a bar, but it's a bigger place.
Right. Trying to think. I think the only other smaller kind of place. Damn it, I don't even remember the name of the joint. It was in Rockford near downtown. They've been shut down for years, but it was there was some tickets for sale, but most of them were contest winners from the radio stations. Bret Michaels did a solo show. It was like wintertime. I remember that. It was like 06. And I mean, yeah, I guess the place was, well, there was definitely no 30, 40 people, but I'd say there was probably about 75 probably in this place to see him, which the tickets were only going for like $20. You know, in 06, I'm going, all right. And I won him from a radio contest. And I took my buddy Scott. We used to go to a lot of concerts together. And I'm like, hey, I said, you want to go see Bret Michaels? Okay. So we got the front table, seriously. But unfortunately, it turned out that Bret and everyone in the band had the flu. Every one of them on that damn tour bus had the flu. And of course, him being diabetic already, you know, I'm led to believe, I think it was maybe a week or two later, he had to be hospitalized for because of all of that. So I'm one of the few that actually got to meet him briefly afterwards and got him to sign some of his poison stuff and the soul, whatever. I always try to get whatever current thing, and I bet you guys do too when you go to a concert, whatever the most newest record is, so that they don't think that you're just there just to get the old stuff signed. You want to support them, you know. You want to support the new stuff.
I never get that signed. I'd rather have just a conversation with somebody. They're more likely to talk to you and spend a couple minutes with you if you're not,
right.
You know, if you're just treating them like a human being. I'll tell you a quick story and then let the new guys talk. But I've seen in the same bar, I saw at least once, maybe twice, and then other places too. I saw Jonathan Richman, if you know who he is. And there was this local
Modern
band
Lovers, right?
Yeah. There's this local band opening up for him one night, and I'm standing there watching the local band. I look right next to me, right at my shoulder, and there's Jonathan watching them, like standing right next to me. I'm just like,
nice.
Hello, Jonathan. He's like, hello, how are you? And then we just, I was just like, the hell, man, it's Jonathan Richard standing right next to me watching this band.
That's neat. Hello, Ron and Kevin. How are you?
Hello. I actually have a similar story to that, Tim.
Yeah.
I went to see Crowbar. I like some of the heavier stuff, so like the more doom and heavier metal. But I went to see Crowbar and St. Vitus. And Crowbar played first, and then St. Vitus came on, and I looked next to me, and it's Kirk, the lead singer from Crowbar, just standing next to me, hanging out, like watching St. Vitus with me. So yeah, similar story.
Nice. How about you, Kev Head?
I think he's muted. Are you muted?
Kev, I think you're muted.
Nope. Technical difficulty.
I hate it when that happens. I've had it fun enough. Yeah, I should have one of those little we're experiencing technical difficulties.
Yeah.
Please stand by.
One of those titles.
Have some
right back.
some cartoon or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh.
But he's gone.
He'll probably come back.
Yeah.
I used to know this local band called the Mystic Eyes. They're a garage band. And first time I ever saw them, this is where I actually met them, was at this place in Buffalo called Mickey Rat's. And they were opening for 10,000 Maniacs. So I met and was hanging out with all the 10,000 Maniacs before the show, you know, because they were. And, you know, I got to know everybody and everything, blah, blah, blah. Saw the Mystic Eyes, then I left. Never saw them 10,000 Maniacs.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now you mentioned Mickey Rat. Is that the band that eventually became Rat?
No, this was the name of the bar.
Oh,
The
okay.
bar was Mickey Rat. It was this dive. It was such a dive, in fact, all the beer was served in cans. Plastic cups and cans.
Oh, I got one better than that. I've been to a bar where they didn't have any fucking tap beer at all. None.
Here, your turn to drink out of the hose. Go.
Yeah, that's all they would sell was canned and bottled beer. I'm like,
no bottles. No bottles at this place. Cans. Nobody's getting a bottle.
Here's a wine juice box. Go.
But like most of the money at bars and stuff is made off of the tap beer. I don't know if you guys know that or not, but it is because it's so cheap to buy a keg of beer. You can charge $3 or $4.
Good money off of bottled beer too.
It's been a while since I bought. It's been a while since I've been to a bar. Come to think of it.
Yeah, same here.
I don't even know how much drinks cost anymore.
Years and years. Yeah.
I haven't been to a bar in over a year, and for me that's amazing because all of my friends I know from bars, so I haven't seen any of my friends in a year either. Since they closed the bars where I am, and then they opened them again, and then they closed them again, and since the second time they closed them, I haven't been back.
Yeah. The only bar I really have gone to in probably the last 3 months is a local place called Bud Murphy's, and it's because they have good pizza.
Well, they got good pizza in my belly. But mid-February, I think I told Ron this story before, but Jeff Tate from Queensryche is coming to Georgia's Majestic, which can hold about a good 250 people pre-COVID. I don't know if they're going to do that again but I'm like $20. It's them and an opener. I can't remember who the opener is, but I'm like, I gotta go. So something tells me I'll pull the trigger on that, and then I got to save my money because there's a Comic-Con coming in mid-March. They just announced a bunch more guests. Now, earlier in the year, that's how I met Jake the Snake Roberts. Okay. So, yeah, I'm an old school wrestler. So this time,
me too.
They're bringing in $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase.
Oh,
who I met
really?
10 years ago. Yes. But I have a reason why I need to talk to him. So it's like, okay. So that was going to be the only reason why I was going to go, right? So they had that, and two different Power Rangers are coming. Believe it or not, they did really well at the con last one. It's that retro 80, 90 thing, whatever. So then they added some more people this week, and I'm going, oh, wait a minute. Booker T's coming now? And I'm going, if that's the case, if you guys remember in the O's, the Booker T Stone Cold Steve Austin supermarket match. Oh my God. Where it was like 7-8 minutes of destroying the supermarket, $10,000 in damage. And I like keeping my shows up. So unfortunately, I'm not going to go to this clip. But if you're bored for 2 minutes, in the middle of Stone Cold smashing the hell out of him, and he tips the cart over in the frozen section. He takes a sausage, like one of those ones you could, plastic, and you cut. And he goes, and he's got a frozen pizza in the other hand, and he starts going, and Booker T's on the ground. He goes, "When the moon hits your eye like a pizza pie, that's a boring." And he fucking hits him with the frozen pizza, breaks it in half. And I lost it. I was like, my God, I said, this is great. And he threw the fucking sausage down the aisle, and I'm like,
that's him.
And he's like beating him up and threw him in the fucking cart. So the whole thing ends, right? And he throws him onto the belt, and he goes into the microphone. He goes, "Price on jackass," and then he has to leave because the cops are coming. So I'll always remember that. And then, you guys like The Office? The Office TV show?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I met Creed. I saw Creed perform. He performed and told stories from different grassroots in The Office and things like that. So I've liked the show, just like the show. Half my kids like the show. Meredith's coming. So the one who played Meredith. So I'm like, Kate Flannery. I'm like, sure, what the hell? So I'll go torture 2 wrestlers and Meredith all in one day.
Yeah.
I prefer Steve Carell on The Office over anybody else.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
So you said it was just Teddy and Stevie and Booker T coming to that con? Those 2 wrestlers?
Excuse me?
It was just Ted DiBiase and Booker T coming to that con?
For the moment. There might be another one. There
Maybe
might
some
be
more
one more, I hope. I guess because I'm a sucker for that shit. I love meeting all those 70s, 80s, 90s, and O's. I stopped watching like maybe about mid 2000, but AEW, I've been starting to watch some of the clips because I'm like, now this is the way sort of it should be now. But that's because Chris Jericho, and and that's another thing too. God, I may have to go, but that's not till May. Fozzy is going to play down in Fort Smith. So, I mean, it's about a 90-minute drive, but I'm like, Fozzy's coming out. I said, I always wanted to see him with Fozzy.
Yeah, Paul, me and Chris Jericho are YouTube friends. We chat back and forth on YouTube all the time.
Nice. Y2J?
Yeah. Y2J.
Yeah.
Now, Paul, have you seen that federation that where Kevin Von Erich's sons are wrestling?
What's the name?
I can't think of it. They pop up. It's Ross and the other one, but they're on some federation. They're on. I can't think of it. I think it's happening in Las Vegas because they have some.
I'll have to look.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'll have to look into that because I thought I heard one Offspring was doing it, but that's cool. No, I didn't know that though. That's great.
Mm-hmm. And there's talk of Lacey getting back in. Kerry Von Erich's daughter, who was in TNA for a little bit. Lacey's talking of going back into wrestling. Mm-hmm. Well, who knows? Have some Von Erich cousins wrestling.
Game Changer Wrestling? I'm going to have to look into that. I don't know what that is.
That one.
I know AEW. I know. What you got? Oh, yes. There you go. One of Jericho's books.
That's every match he's ever had in chronological order.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Wow.
I was on his the first time that I talked to Chris Jericho, I was on his podcast promoting that same book, and I made a comment like he said, "Thanks everybody for being here. I love y'all," or something, and I said, "You're welcome and love you too." And he's like, "Oh, that is such a sweet thing to say, and I love the name."
So yeah, I would love to. I'll have to figure out the venue in Fort Smith is a theater. It's like another one of those 800, 900 seaters, but they leave the main floor open. So I'll just have to figure out the ins and outs of the venue and then just maybe try to go torture Jericho. Maybe.
Mm-hmm. Now, is Jericho another one?
But yeah,
he started in Calgary, didn't he?
Yeah. Under Stu Hart. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. He's another one. Okay.
Yeah.
I was on.
Yep. When he trained with Chris Benoit and a few others.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Spent a lot of time going back and forth between Japan and here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Some of that Japan stuff. Oh my God.
Oh, yeah. I like the classic
buddy
Japan.
of mine in the 90s. Yeah. Buddy of mine in the 90s. He was a indie wrestler for a while. He went by the name The Prophet. Okay. It was Northern Illinois, Southern Wisconsin. Yeah, he was trying to be an Undertaker wannabe. Okay.
Yeah.
But he was a huge wrestling fan and a really good guy by the name of Jason. He sounded like he should have been in the adult entertainment business because his name was Jason Love. You know what I'm saying? Or he would have made a great manager name. But one of the things I remember, because this is 90s and VHS days, and he goes, you need to see this. And I go, please don't tell me it's your latest porn. He goes, no, jackass. He goes, Japan wrestling. Mick Foley, Terry Funk, some of the Japanese. You're gonna love it. You will.
Yeah.
And there was the Funk Foley match. C4 barbed wire, this, that. I'm like, son of a bitch. I didn't even know that shit existed until I saw those Japanese matches.
Those hardcore ones. Yeah.
After I loved that shit, maybe a few weeks later, he goes off. Since you like that so much, he goes, as crazy as Japan. He goes, but I think you'll dig this. And he gives me another tape, and I go, what's on this one? He goes, you ever heard of a federation named ECW? I'm going, I only started hearing of you guys. He goes, I've got the last 4 pay-per-views are on this tape. Have at it. And I'm just like, I fell in love with that damn stuff too. And Cactus Jack, that's right. Cactus Jack.
Yeah, Cactus Jack.
Another
poor Funkster. Assisted
He was
living
good.
facility
Jack,
he is in
he's
now.
from my hometown, Long Island.
Yeah, another a duo that used to wrestle in Japan all the time and all those crazy matches was Axel and Ian Rotten.
Hey. Oh, yeah.
They would do the glass matches and the light bulb matches, and I think they even did a damn match where they were over a piranha cage.
Yeah. Now, Paul, I did tell you. Remember, I did go. I saw a world class.
Oh, there we are. I didn't even know I was on
one time back during the '80s.
Oh yeah.
And I saw Kevin Von Erich. I think was the main event. He wrestled. What's the older Freebird? Buddy Roberts. Kevin Von Erich and Buddy Roberts were the event.
Wow.
And then, of course, a run-in with Michael Hayes, and a run-in with Kerry. So that was I don't know if it's on TV, but it was in the Sportatorium, and it was packed to the rafters. I saw him in 1983. I didn't see David, but I saw Kevin and Kerry. So
you got to see a lot of good stuff.
Yeah.
WCCW back then was like
New Jack.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. I remember New Jack.
Yeah.
Didn't he stab a guy?
Yeah, he did, and then he got arrested for throwing a guy off of a scaffolding and trying to kill him.
Yeah, and he literally said, "I was trying to kill him. I was trying to kill him."
Yeah.
That was an XPW for Vic Grimes. He had that fucking taser went, and I'm like, "What the hell?" And he's like, "No, don't push me up there." And I'm like, "Oh, he's gonna die."
Did anyone ever see that documentary that came out during the late '90s called Beyond the Mat?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
They did a whole thing with New Jack. Yeah.
Yeah. They just did a documentary called Beyond the Mat.
They updated it.
I don't know. But they have it's on television. I know that.
I know that Vice did a whole
I
series
love
called The
all
Dark
that
Side of the
stuff.
Ring.
Oh, you got to
that
see
was
Great
those,
series.
man.
Damn great series.
Oh yeah, Gino Hernandez and Bruiser, man, Bruiser Brody.
See, now Chino, I don't remember, but Bruiser I do. I must have seen like one or two of his last matches before that murder. You know, so I was like,
I remember Bruiser in the late.
But, you
well,
know,
I'm older, in the late '70s, so you know.
Yeah, Gino Hernandez was murdered by the mafia, wasn't he?
Now they say
I think so. Something like
they
that.
say it may have been a cocaine overdose, but they're really not sure. You know.
No, I'm thinking of Dino Bravo. He was
Yeah.
Dino Bravo was the Canadian.
The Canadian mafia.
Yeah. But with Gino, I think it was a cocaine overdose, as I understand, because they interviewed a bunch of people, or you know.
Yeah, Dino Bravo was into selling the illegal cigarettes, and
and he got murdered for that. Yeah.
Yep. I think they shot him 37 or 38 times.
Oh my gosh!
Oh,
Talk about overkill.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Talk about somebody
making
really
sure.
want to punch your ticket.
One of my
They gave
favorite
everybody his turn.
I like the Dark Side of the Moon show also on the Von Erichs, and because I like watching them and what goes through your life for your want to commit suicide. You know.
Yeah.
They've had three. Kerry Von Erich, and he wanted to die. You know, was it that bad? He wanted
with Kerry Von Erich, it was because he was doing court and he was worried about ruining his family's reputation. He stole a prescription pad from a doctor and was writing all these fucking prescriptions out for pain pills and shit.
Yeah. But does that mean you want to end that lot? That's it. You know.
Right.
I mean, he could have been a couple of years in jail and come back and is better than ever. I just don't understand that. You know.
Well, I mean, nowadays are they starting to see that they kind of like the football players where they're taking somebody knocks to the head now, where they think
those wrestlers too.
I think the last one, the person they really started bringing that up with was Benoit.
Yeah.
After what happened with Benoit, they brought that up about the concussions and constant hits to the head.
Yep.
Affects their behavior.
And speaking of football / wrestling, Steve McMichael. I can't remember what he got, but he was hospitalized for a very long time. He looks bad.
Yeah.
I met him before he went into wrestling when he was still a bear. But,
on Ric Flair's podcast, he talked about seeing him, and he doesn't look good at all.
Yeah, that's what he said. He said that Steve Mongo McMichael was one of the nicest people you'd ever want to meet.
The
Miz, didn't he have his own show, Groovy, Lisa?
Yeah, he does.
He was
a reality
on
show.
Yeah, he was on Big Brother, wasn't he?
No, it was.
No, he had his own show, I think.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, The Real World.
Him and his wife, I think.
Oh, The Real World. Okay, that too. Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Before he was a wrestler, he was on The Real World, and then when he became a wrestler, they gave him his own TV show called Ms. and Mrs.
Yeah. Now Arn is back doing some stuff at that one federation, kind of managing or whatever.
AEW. Yeah.
Yeah.
So is Tully Blanchard.
Yeah.
I think there's been a couple of dive from heart attacks, Lisa.
Right. For me, it's Flair, Ole,
Eddie Guerrero,
Arn Anderson, and Tully. And
the original four.
I remember when Sting tried to get in. Oh, see, and I always liked Sting. You know.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah.
Never liked Lex Luger. I never liked him.
When they brought Sting into the Four Horsemen, I thought that was what started to kill the Four Horsemen. When they started bringing in all these other guys and replacing one with another, and it just wasn't the same after, you know, the Tully Blanchard and Arn Anderson went to the WWF to become the Brainbusters.
Right. I mean, I liked it when Chris Benoit and Dean Malenko were there. I liked those two. Right. I always thought they were good workers. You know, it's just they should have just killed the Horsemen. You know,
back then
when they left.
going
but
forever.
whatever.
Paul, have you ever seen that clip of Jay Lethal mocking Ric Flair? Oh my God!
Oh
That
my
was so
God,
fucking
that's
funny.
comedy gold. That's comedy
I mean,
gold.
he did a
It's like-
perfect
it's
imitation
like,
of him, and Ric Flair
Oh
was
my
losing his
God.
fucking marbles.
Oh my God. And just the way he'd be like, it's like every word was like, and he goes, and I love what was it? One of the things I liked was they kept hitting their clothes, and I'm like, okay. And then Rick went off and he goes, I'll do any of these women, even the fat one over there. I'm like, oh my God. And then I think the last bit was because Rick supposedly did not know that Jay was going to spit that out at the end. He goes, that's because I'm a 60-minute man. And he goes, and that's when he goes, no, that's my line. No, that's my line. That's my line. And I'm just like, 8 minutes to comedy gold. Oh my God. Woo!
I think by the end of that segment, Ric Flair was in his boxers. I think he even took his damn pants off and threw them out onto the rim.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Kansas
see
City. Probably Kansas City. That's where
Jim, are
Harley
you
Race
talking
was
about
from.
Cape Championship? CCW Cape Championship out of what is it? Troy, Missouri, right? I was going to go up there to see Harley once, and then I think that was right around the time, unfortunately, he died, because I would have loved to have met Harley. Mick Foley came to raise money. Yeah, he always used to get these wrestlers to come in and do fundraisings, which I thought was great. He could barely walk. Well, yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
Jesus, I don't know. How many years was he in there? I mean, before he went manager?
Yeah.
60s and 70s, right? Was his main thing. And then the 80s, he was a manager, right? I think.
No, he was a wrestler in the 80s, too. Yeah, he wrestled in
I
the
barely
WWE.
remember.
Yeah.
He wrestled in the WWF as King Harley Race in the mid to late 80s.
Jim, sorry, Eldon. That's right. I knew it was something that I never heard of before. I don't know a lot about Missouri, but I mean, like, it's a few hours away from where I live. The Cape Championship once in a while will come down to Springfield, but it's like I could get myself out there. They keep trying to put local ones in here. They had a wrestling match a couple weeks ago, actually, but like the ones that they had that were on the card, one of them was called the Connoisseur, and because he really does by day, he runs a winery in Missouri. This dude does. So he comes out, he's the bad guy, and he's drinking a glass of wine. That's his thing, you see. He gets in the corner and sips it real nice, and the last chug of one. And then I can't remember, but both of the main eventers both did dark matches for WWE and AEW. So I mean, you got to start somewhere in the business if you're going to do it.
You know what's funny is out here in like Southern California, we don't really seem to have like that many independent wrestling federations and stuff out here, so we don't really get like local shows out here. It seems like a lot of the Midwest gets it. But then again, of course, I'm not really looking
come
for
over
it,
the
but...
border.
Huh?
I miss that shit. Seriously, in the 80s in Chicago, there was a sports channel was a cable channel, and they would show. I think that federation was AAA. That's what they called themselves down in Mexico. They'd show Lucha Libre matches, and I knew no Spanish. I had to watch this thing. There wasn't even an English announcer. So I'm sitting here watching these high flyers, but I started picking up names. Psychosis, Conan, I'm going, these people are crazy. But back then, you were allowed to have 2 Americans in each of your federation. And I can't remember who he went up against, but so here's the thing. So like I said, I know no Spanish whatsoever. So he introduces the one guy. The other guy goes, from USA, that I heard. He goes, Too Cold Scorpio. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Too Cold Scorpio? And he show up in any damn federation. So he was wrestling this guy. It was half funny. I'm not going to lie. It was not one of his best matches.
I think the World Wrestling Council out of Puerto Rico is a lucha federation now, because the NWA pulled out of it, after Bruiser's murder. The American wrestlers won't go down there. And
all the Mexican ones are like, 3 feet tall?
That's what I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that guy got away with murder.
And now, Paul, what do you think about?
I always heard.
Go ahead.
What do you think about Ric Flair getting in trouble all these years later because of the plane ride from hell? Like WWE completely fucking shit canned him.
You mean his helicopter trick?
Man.
Sure.
Not only that,
inexcusable behavior, but there should be time limits on this shit. I'm sorry. It's not like he went and I'm not trying to excuse his behavior.
He went back to where they were serving food and held the one stewardess against the wall and was like sexually assaulting her and stuff.
See, but what was it? Somebody went up and who the hell was it? It was Dusty's kid.
Dusty Rhodes?
Supposedly
Dustin?
Saw
Dusty
part
Rhodes?
of it.
Okay.
Yeah, Dustin. He saw part of it.
Goldust?
Yeah. So it's like he was trying to get Rick back, but from what Dustin saw, half of it wasn't what she said. So I mean, I know that sure, wrestlers can lie, but for some reason I always think that Dustin probably shot from the hip. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, how much does he really have to lose anymore? Yes, good old Goldust. Oh my God! That was a match that I remember. I cannot remember who was supposed to go up against Goldust, but it was not supposed to be Shawn Michaels. That was a very weird headline match in Rockford, Illinois, in the mid-'90s, and Shawn was calling Goldust all kinds of rotten stuff, because of course Goldust was supposed to be. You didn't know what Goldust was, but next thing you know, I mean there was people yelling taunts into the ring, of course, and Michaels finally, of course, gives him the sweet chin music, and that's how Goldust drops. But some of them were like yelling, fag, fag, fag. I'm going, oh boy. I'm surprised it didn't get into a riot. But whatever. That was the 90s. That was the mid-90s. That was the same card. I remember this. Ultimate Warrior came back. And he was supposed to go with Vader. So this was... We're not kidding. He only did a couple more matches after this Rockford. In fact, I think Minnesota might have been the last one he did. So he comes in to his theme music, bounces, shakes the ropes, gets Vader. I'm looking at it. 45 seconds. 45 seconds, shakes the rope, jumps out. People, including me, are going, what the fuck just happened? And then we all went, boo, and you could hear, this is a 10,000 seater, boo, and so imagine a 3/4 filled house, boo, because we knew something was up. We're just like, fuck this. And that was like one of the biggest disappointments I ever saw on a big card. I'm like, you're shitting me. 45 seconds.
Yeah, I think a lot. I mean, mostly I came in mostly on the Attitude Era because my son was really into it. My youngest son, or oldest son, he's like 26 now. But he was really, really into it. Really. Well, I mean, we bought the figures, paid money on the big rings. It was outrageous. But that was during the Stone Cold, all that stuff.
He got into Stone Cold. He got into all the action figures. You didn't get him turned on to beer, did you? Or anything else like that?
No.
Maybe
But every 5 minutes, there was a kid knocking on the door, though. Your son just tried to pile drive me. In the pool, jumping on him.
Because I just kicked your ass. Yeah, Coco Beware. That's funny. I met Coco Beware. I did. He came out to Harvard, Illinois, to one of our piss ass independent shows. And, I always used to take my stepson and then his best friend who lived across the street, right? And so, I was spoiled. I always had to get ringside, first row or nothing, or I wouldn't go. I'm serious. So I remember he was driving in some piece of shit car. It really was a piece of shit car. But he made it there, and he came all the way from Kentucky to make it to this gig in Harvard, Illinois, which was in a catering hall. So you could, but they used to do matches every other month. So I had my little daughter with me. She probably was no more than a year old, and so two things. He comes out into the crowd before his match, and he's doing the Frankie, doing that dance. And he held my daughter for 2 seconds, and he's like dancing with my kid. I'm like, I wish there was, digital cameras back then, because that was awesome.
Yeah.
So after that, though, he's doing the autographs and shit, like everybody else. And Frankie was in his cage. And so my stepson's, his name was Mike, the friend of his. And I see he's looking at Frankie in that cage. And I said, don't you even think about putting your damn fingers by Frankie. I said, because you're going to get it. That's what's going to happen. Now, he ain't my kid. My kid knew better. So I'm still yapping with Coco. Would you believe for 2 seconds he fucking puts his finger into that cage and gets bit? And I said, and he's crying like, I said, you did it, didn't you? What did I say? Even Coco went off. He goes, yeah, what the hell did he just say? Don't touch my bird. He goes, you deserve God. And I go, that's for Coco. No sympathy. Zero sympathy from this guy. Roddy Piper, I would have loved to have Roddy Piper in action. I would have loved, especially after the They Live. I love the movie. I came here for 2 things. and bubblegum, and I'm all out of bubblegum. I love it. But yeah, so Coco Beware, not a drag queen, Lisa. Coco, go look up some old videos.
Coco Beware was in that documentary Beyond the Mat also.
Yeah, yeah.
Him and Jake the Snake. How is Jake the Snake doing nowadays? Does anybody even know?
He's doing good.
He's sobered up and stuff like that.
He's looking well.
Yeah.
When he came here in town in April, April. No, wait a minute. No, I'm sorry. It wasn't April. It was August. Duh. So he's here in August, and I was the first one. Me and my friend Donna, we went. Nice as could be. He was. He answered our questions. I said, congrats on the AEW 2-year extension you just got. I said, I watched his resurrection of Jake the Snake, courtesy of YouTube. They had that up, and I honestly respect DDP more than I did before. And I thought that movie was great. And so, excuse me. See, he was nice as can be, but he couldn't stand up. I ended up having to bend down a little bit so he could do the picture. I found out later that he's got COPD. I think he had that for about a year now. And there was some pictures that people took from the convention. And he had the breathing apparatus already.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, oh, shit, because I know that COPD can kick your ass major. So I haven't I haven't, like I said, I haven't heard anything since August, and I just wasn't sure if he was even still doing anything or not. I know he was talking about part of that 2-year, he was going to do color commentating, I guess, for AEW, but I don't know if it happened.
Mm-hmm.
Now, AEW, that's the one that just got purchased by WWE, am I correct?
No.
No? Okay. Didn't they just purchase a big company, though? WWE?
I don't think.
Okay.
I think WWE itself is going out of business. They released a lot of their top stars.
Yeah.
So I think they're like getting ready to sell.
The ratings are tanking, I understand.
Yeah.
See, I thought I heard Vince has got dementia. That's the rumor going around. It's either dementia or Alzheimer's. Seriously. Which might explain some of his behavior.
But wouldn't Shane and Stephanie take over, though? Would you think, or?
I don't think they will. I think they're gonna. I honestly think they're gonna sell because right now it's a public company. So.
Oh, okay.
So, and it's sad though. I mean, like I said, you know, whether you love or hate McMahon, he brought a lot of people into our, you know, that we wouldn't have known over these last decades. You know, I mean, we wouldn't have all those cool bits, like you said, even with the Attitude Era, or for me, it was the '80s. You know, with all that stuff, it was cartoonish in the '80s, but it still was entertaining. It all was entertaining. I never thought for once, you know, I hate people that go, it's fake. You know what? Sure, go in the match. Go ahead. Go between those ropes and find out how damn fake it is.
You know, I'm sure the outcomes are predicted, but I mean, I'm sure the outcomes are set up, but the thing is, they still put their bodies through a lot of torture. They put their bodies through a lot to entertain.
Right. You have to hit physicality. You have to be trained like a pro athlete most of the time to get into that damn. You got to have the years of training, the sweat equity, okay, and if you don't, you ain't gonna last 2 damn seconds, because look what, of course, happened to Mass Transit, courtesy of New Jack. Blade him, stuck pig, dead.
Jail
not
style.
Dead, but he probably should have been dead. Yeah, but you know, it's like you don't play around with this shit. You know, it's just like seriously, God, I remember in the '80s there used to be this stupid little news show. Maybe it's still around, but I don't watch TV too much anymore. Called 2020, and there was this guy named John Stossel. Yeah, and he went to ask Dr. Death, Steven, is wrestling fake? Bam! He's in the neck cast. I'm like, smack. Like, oh boy. Nope. Shouldn't have done that.
I don't know. Was it John? I thought John Stossel was the one who actually got slapped across the ear.
Yeah.
They popped his eardrum or something.
Both sides.
Was it Hogan who, if I'm remembering correctly, was it Hogan who did it?
No, it's Dr. D, David Schultz.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. That one was Richard Belzer. It was the Hogan Mr. T thing.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, that got him in hot water for a while too. But
yeah, there was a Dark Side of the Moon for Dr. D, David Schultz. So yeah.
Yeah.
He's been at
I remember getting suckered
Bounty
in.
Hunter and everything. Yeah.
Jerry Lawler, Andy Kaufman. I really thought that was real. I was like, only after that Andy Kaufman movie came out and Lawler, I'm like, son of a bitch, it was. I'm like, damn it, I thought it was real. Everything else I could tell was fake, but I'm like, damn it, he got me through the grave.
Lawler probably would have took that to the grave if that movie hadn't came out.
I saw him on Letterman. I thought, oh God, he's going to kill him on TV. You know,
smack.
I knocked him off the table there.
Yeah, I was watching probably about a month ago. I was watching probably about a month ago when they were showing when Jerry Lawler had the heart attack on the air.
Oh yeah.
And Michael Cole had to take over, and how they said that Michael Cole was nice and calm and collected after Lawler had the heart attack. So yeah, but how old is Lawler now?
I think he's in his 72, I believe. Yeah, something in his 70s. I believe Mr. Keith's with us.
But I'll tell you this.
He is.
He re-signed with WWE. Lawler did. So I don't know. I just last week I think he signed up. I'm like, that was kind of a sort of a surprise. I'm going, okay. All right, guys. I hate to do this, but I got to get up early for work. And well, we went over 2 hours, and I love it, and I love you guys.
Fun.
I love having these cast of
I enjoy
characters.
talking to you guys.
See, it doesn't always have to be about records. It doesn't always have to be about music, just as long as it's something, you know.
Interesting.
Balding Singh, is Mr. T still alive? I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sure he is.
Yeah,
we would have heard about that, I think.
He's done some advertising. He's alive.
Jeff tried to do me. I pity that fool. Anywho, so I want to thank everybody, of course, on here. You know, you guys on here. I'm hoping for maybe Saturday night. I'll do another one of these. I think I got a bunch more stuff I want to talk about. Anyway, but once again, like I said, before we close out the show here, please some prayers. Please some prayers going out to my friend Tinfoil Hat Paul, who tomorrow we'll find out if he is going to need a stent or open heart surgery. He's been on the show a couple times here previously, praying for his welfare and healing whatever may happen, so that also we're going to have, me and him are going to have a one-on-one here, hopefully sometime into the early next year, Lord willing. Doug Fields from Vinyl Grotto sounds like he's getting better, so that's good too. Of course, pray for my grandson, Noah, so that he'll get better. And also I got tests coming up as well, having to do with my stomach. Delightful. Now, as I always, once again, thank you all, love you all. Love you, Goth Angel. Miss you, Goth Angel. I cannot wait for you to come home to me and everybody else in my crazy family, because I could see it now. She'll be like, oh, fuck. That's what she's gonna say. She'll be like, baby. All right, guys. You know what? Thank you here. Thank you in the peanut gallery. Lots of good comments. No drama tonight. I love it. I love it. Do it have a cassette burger? Allowed to play. I remember those, Synth. I do remember a cassette player type adapter. Those are neat.
Yeah.
If you're,
I still have one actually.
Remember Kick-Track? Right in the middle of the kick-ass song. Click, click. Oh. All right. Everybody, good night. And have a good rest of the week.
Hey, guys.
Bye.